Where several towns are in lockdown, boxing world heavyweight champion. Now, more of our top story this morning, and as 4 more Britons test positive for the coronavirus, and countries around the world are taking extraordinary measures to contain the virus, fears of a global pandemic are increasing. Well, let's take a look at the details now, because there's been a huge increase in cases in South Korea. The president there says the country is facing a grave turning point, with over 760 people now infected. In Iraq, the outbreak has significantly worsened. 5 deaths there since Wednesday, and the government has acknowledged over 40 confirmed cases, but officials have warned the virus may spread to all cities. And closer to home, Italy is in lockdown. The Venice Carnival's been cut short. Fashion shows and football matches have been cancelled in the Lombardy and Veneto regions. Italy has now confirmed over 150 cases, and that's the highest number of any country outside Asia. Well, joining me now to get more details on this is Dr. Bharat Pankhania. It's an expert on communicable diseases from the University of Exeter. Good morning to you, and thanks very much for coming in to talk to us about this, because obviously, as you can see from the front pages of all the newspapers, there's a lot of fear about where this is heading. The tipping point may have been reached and we're on the brink of a pandemic. What's your assessment?
As we would have expected, when a new virus emerges, it started its journey in Wuhan city, Hubei province, and then it started its infection in the neighboring countries, and now, as we are seeing, in other distant countries. And as a result of it being in distant countries and having what we feel is almost sustained transmission of infection, it's only a matter of time before WHO says this is a global pandemic.
So there's no doubt in your mind that that will be confirmed, that will be the case. What can we do in that case to contain it? Because obviously we look at the countries that are now affected, you know, Iran, South Korea. We've just had a news report saying that there's the first case in Bahrain. We know that Italy, cities there are in lockdown. This seems to be coming ever closer. We've got 13 confirmed cases here at the moment, but how do you think that number could increase?
The United Kingdom has done really well with its containment, and it's a case of so far so good. The United Kingdom is also in a very special place, and that is we have an integrated healthcare system. Therefore, what I mean by that is our GPs, our clinicians, our laboratory people, our ambulance services, our local authorities all work in a nice coordinated way, because we spend a lot of money on resilience planning, emergency preparedness. Having said that, the nature of these infections is it is inevitable it will arrive on our shores. And we're as ready as can be, but that doesn't mean we should just lower our guard. We need to be aware that infections may start to arrive which have not originated from China. So you were mentioning about Italy and South Korea and Iran. We feel now is also another time to review our screening policies when people come in at our ports of entry, because they are not coming necessarily from Southeast Asia. They're probably coming from Italy, Iran, and other places.
So do you think people specifically from those countries should now be screened, or should everybody be screened who is coming in? Is that even feasible?
It's almost not feasible or sustainable, and therefore we will have to have a closer look at where are the hotspots and focus on the hotspots, because we can only do what we can do. We can't do everything. So we'll focus on the hotspots. Iran, South Korea, Africa maybe, and then we will have to sort of take stock of where do we go now, because when we have uncontrolled spread of infection, it is very difficult to do contact tracing.
So how worried should people be? I mean, people watching today, when they're hearing about the number of cases increasing, they'll obviously be concerned about the fact that they may catch it, whether here in this country, whether on a flight abroad somewhere.
I would say it's not a case of worried, but you need to be informed, advised, know what to do, and that takes away a lot of the tension. So with respect to this virus being circulated, it is droplet spread, and the best way to avoid catching this infection is good personal hygiene. Hand washing is very important. So you wash your hands thoroughly, and then having washed your hands, you also dry. So dry, clean hands is a good thing. And one more thing, before you're going to eat, you should also wash your hands before eating. Those are good personal measures everyone can take for for all times.
Okay, Dr. Pankania, thanks very much for joining us this
Thank you.
morning for your expertise.